America's definitely put gloves really far. So I feel like while the rest of the world's on light arms and on all this other stuff, we are still sticking with gloves, maybe too stubbornly. But it's to the point that our glove meta has developed.
It is a very developed area for us. But yeah, a lot of the players in NA or in Japan, EU, as we're seeing, like, we're having a double Ice Dragon mirror for the losers finals right now.
Right. Well, this did happen at Smash Out, me versus Twin. Double Ice Dragon mirror. Yeah, it's a little more. There are just enough Ice Dragon players at the top level that you see this happen. Just enough. You see that happen sometimes.
Starting off the match, Ripha's holding on to a pretty light lead here, and he's also brought out the Ninjara. Ninjara is out. He is throwing out the Tri-Blast. Gets 2 safe dodges. Only takes 50 damage from that rush. To the equivalent of basically just taking a bunch of chip damage on the shield. Actually, still probably even less than that.
Yeah, and you know, Chakram against Ninja Shield is very, very deadly, but Ripha knew exactly what to do about it to get away from it.
Iceman able to punish Ripha's rush, ends up taking him down and just taking it out from him. But Ripha still has a huge lead and is able to prevent Iceman from being in a position to use his own rush and gives Ripha the first round.
Yeah. Switching to this Sparky set, which I feel like has worked very well for Iceman, cleaning up what he can't deal with Chakram. Going to get his first freeze in at least a little while, but not able to deal with Ninjara's shield on rush there. Ripha knows exactly how to get out of those situations. Being a top Ninjara, you kind of have to do.
If he waited or if he started a little bit sooner, he might have been able to just get some kind of pressure going, but he waited just long enough that the ice wore off Ripha, and that allowed him just to get out of there.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate of playing elements like this. You have to be really aware of how long your freeze lasts and what you can deal with. And just before Group 5 Sparky come out to block that dragon, we actually saw the start of frames coming out. Ice Dragon just immediately says, "Wake up." There's nothing you can do about it. He had already chose to punch, so he was already dead.
And yeah, that's a.
Oh, my cat broke in here.
It's Kitty!
I'll be right back.
It's Kitty! I love Kitty. He has a very cute cat. She's also super adorable sounding. And very, very cuddly looking.
Okay. She knows it's bedtime. So she's like, "Where are you?"
Wants to sleep.
Yeah. She's the worst about that. She will, like, make me get into bed, and then she'll grab my... and I won't be able to move it at all. She'll get rid of it.
She'll just lock you down?
Yep.
She'd probably be pretty good in a fighting game. I bet she's got some good strats.
Yeah. Ripha was really dominant there. Tri-Blast pressure was insane, and Iceman really didn't have a good answer to it. So maybe we'll see one of Iceman's for this game too, or maybe he'll stick with the Dragon Mid though.
A lot of that, I feel like, is just showing how experienced Ripha is against medium arms. He's dealt with them for so long with this loadout that he's just like, I know how Ninjara moves, I know how costly a lot of the actions you have actually are, and I'm just going to take advantage of them.
Well, a Ninja is a character that really doesn't unless you have Rush. And Ripha, being such an experienced player, knows how to get around those rushes. Mechanica, Iceman, really pulling out of the stops here, going for a heavy character deal with this Tri-Blast. Gino will possibly make Ripha switch to Slamamander around 2. We'll see. But I feel like Dragon just does not do well against heavy, especially in Ice Dragon.
I would say otherwise. With practice, those arms are extremely good, and we're seeing exactly why. It's extremely effective, just safe poking tools. Iceman already almost at 50% health from all those chip damage.
Ice Dragon is not a very threatening poke tool, in my experience against heavies, because if you throw it out, even if it's charged, the worst thing that happens is they take 50 damage and they get frozen for a little bit. But they still have those big arms to box with, and if your other arm doesn't deal well with heavies, then you're at a disadvantage with this set. That's exactly what's happening right here. Unfortunately, Iceman chooses to dash out instead of trying to shield that rush. But he did get an integral rush earlier in the match that almost brought Ripha to his knees.
But this also is just such a good example of how good Ripha is in a lot of these situations. Like, he understands what he needs to do. He's just safely dodging away. Even though the dragon arguably should leave him pretty vulnerable when he leaves it out for a quick poke, he's getting these pokes, and in a lot of cases, he's not getting hit. The reason Iceman was able to bring it back at that as close as he was because his rush is capable of doing almost half of Ripha's health.
That's true, and we might see that again here. I mean, if Iceman can get Ripha into a situation where he has to shield part of the rush like that, there we go.
Ripha, though, is already in a position. He just needs to use rush, chooses to go for just a barrage of uncharged hits, though, and is able to overwhelm Iceman and gets his second round.
And, that was a good counter pick on it, and I understand all the intentions he had with that counter pick. Ripha just, his movement is too good for you to overcommit the way Iceman was doing, without strong baits with that overcommitment. And I feel like that is what Iceman was lacking. Is while he was playing neutral well, he's making good decisions. Ripha has such good movement, and his character doesn't really disadvantage to the point that, like, even after throwing Dragon out, he can get away for free. He can reset neutral. I think that's Ninjara's main ability. Actually, it's not teleport. It's not his shield. It's not his movement speed. It's the ability to reset neutral constantly. And because of that, he's almost like a Brawl Meta Knight type character. Not that he's overpowered and broken, but that he just can't really lose neutral, or at least he can't lose neutral for very long. Because he forces you to play there so often. And that's where Ripha's set is the strongest, which is why I feel like the synergy works very well.
Another thing on that match, too, is another reason why Iceman kind of struggled against Ripha is the fact that while he had two very powerful arms, both of them are kind of the way that they're both investment arms. Like, if you make an action with either one, you have to wait a bit for it to finish. You can't just throw it out and see what happens, throw it out, see what happens. Homie is really difficult to use against Ninjara. Chakram a lot easier, but if they know what to do against it, you throw it out and all of a sudden you've left yourself open to, in that case, 200 damage worth of chip damage for one unwise Chakram throw.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, Chakram is definitely a pretty decent. The fact that it's big is what warrants that commitment being good. But when you pair that with an arm homie, you either have to calculate every arm toss very, very heavily and very far to the point that you're like, okay, if I throw this Chakram, he's going to want to move here, and I'm going to put homie there, and I'm going to limit his movement options. Or you're going to have what happened with Iceman there happen, which is he's making these good calls, he's making that aren't necessarily working out, and he's getting hit for 100 damage of chip as a Mechanica every time he throws up an arm. Double Chakram could have worked too. Yeah, you're not wrong, Benson.
It could have very likely worked.
Iceman going to the ugliest color, the worst one.
I think it's a fine Lola color. I think they're all fine Lola colors.
This green is just so...
It's candy apple.
It's just hard to look at.
Look how tasty she is.
It's just hard to look at. It's like caramel apple.
Yeah. I love caramel apple.
I'm an artist, and this color theory... It just... The orange and the green together, it's just too bright. There's not a synergy going on there. It's just... I don't like it.
I'm a scrub. I see colors like that. I'm like, oh, I get the reference. That's cute. That's clever. I like it.
Parabola Lola, something that Hammer a long time. Iceman making it look very strong here.
It's a really good coverage tool, and considering the fact that that's a lot of what he's struggling with against Ripha is the fact that Ripha's arms just are so much everywhere. 2 coverage arms is... You can make a good argument for the logic to lead to this place, where it's like...
Yeah.
You don't want Tri-Blast in your face, you don't want Ice Dragon in your face. Parabola is a huge, like, circle that just walls things. Burchuck on the ground, also huge and walls things.
Oh, that's a really huge rush there. That's almost going to be the round, just not quite. Or doesn't do enough damage on rush to be the round, unfortunately. But that Burchuck right there, just going to kill him.
It worked.
You're not wrong.
Once he got the feel, once he felt it out, he really did just be like, yeah, this is what it does. It's to stop this.
Yeah. And you know, this set is fundamentally similar to Dragon Sparky, so he's kind of in a comfort zone but the roles are reversed, where his Ice Element arm is now his aggressor, and his Shock Element arm is now his coverage tool. So I feel like he's right at home right now. Another fantastic rush.
That was a good read, and that's going to bring the health pools to about even. That said, Ripha now in a position where he's going to be able to find 90 damage off a rush. Not too much, but it's still a lot better than nothing. And that's where Iceman was trying to make it go. This round, slightly in the lead of Ripha, but Iceman is going to get a quick one too, and now just wants to focus on continuing to keep Ripha in a corner, or potentially getting a rush for himself to take Ripha down.
Iceman sitting on a rush almost, just not going to get it for the rounds over. If he could have got it, he's shown, you know, hey, I'm going to make you get hit by this. I'm going to put you in a situation where you have to. To the point that Ripha, now switching off, does not want to let Iceman get any kind of momentum for stack.
That
one step 3-0.
That Slamamander is a really good choice against this loadout.
Oh, another fantastic rush.
270 damage.
Yeah, he put him into a situation where he had to... Ninjara's out of shield options become much, much weaker against Rush, even with Ripha's high knowledge of his character.
Oh, that's a win confirm!
What a great confirm there.
Misses out on the finishing touch, though. Iceman would be at a magic pixel right now. Not going to worry about that, though, as that's one more hit from a charged Tri-Blast.
That is 3-0 in Ripha's favor. That Lollipop was incredibly good. That surprised me. Most people who pull out pocket Lolas, I find it just doesn't work out for them. I mean, I've seen Chateau and Iceman pull out a Lollipop they don't main and do amazing things.